Dear students in grade 12, good afternoon. Welcome to our English seminar for today, in which we are going to discuss Unit 9. Of course, dear students, dear colleagues, as you know, in Unit 9, we have a number of texts in both books, the student's book and the activity book. When we talk about the grammar, also we have some skills. Of course, the most important one is the causative verb have, this grammatical structure. Well, dear students, dear colleagues, let me first welcome my colleagues who are going to participate in this seminar. Miss Sausan Hamdan, an English teacher from Quneitra Directorate. Good afternoon, Miss Sausan.
Good afternoon, thank you very much.
And Mr. Amjad Tajur, an English supervisor from Hama Directorate. Welcome, Mr. Amjad.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming from Hama.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Our pleasure too, Mr. Amjad. Well, dear students in the field, dear colleagues, as you know, our seminars are not English lessons at all. We are just trying to highlight some important points or let's say grammatical skills in the book of the baccalaureate in this curriculum. When we talk about Unit 9, dear colleagues, dear students, as I said at the beginning, we have in grammar, we have maybe the most important skill, which is the new structure. We know that it's a new structure in the baccalaureate. I mean, the students, let's say, had no idea about this structure before. This is the first time they deal with such structure. They know the active structure, they know the passive one, but they have no idea about the causative. In the baccalaureate, in Unit 9, maybe there are some exercises about the causative verb have. And of course, in the activity book, in the student's book and in the activity book, we can discuss some, when we do the exercises, we can discuss some connecting words such as but, maybe in comparison with, whereas maybe these words we use them for comparison. We can discuss this later. Now, Miss Sausan, let me start with you. Yes. Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon.
As you know, when we, of course, we tried in this seminar, before we start the seminar, yes, we were discussing before the seminar that we should, let's say, discuss more than one point in grammar. I mean, we have the conditionals in the baccalaureate, but maybe we don't have a lot of exercises. We don't have exercises about conditionals, but they are required in the baccalaureate because it is, let's say, the end of a stage. And in the final exam, maybe they can be, let's say, asked about them in tenses or in, let's say, in the completion question. So we should focus on them, I mean. When we talk about, so let's start with the conditionals. When we talk about conditionals, let me ask you this question. What is a conditional sentence in general?
Yes,
please.
It is a sentence that has two clauses. One that states the condition, it is the if sentence.
Good.
And one is the result.
Good.
Yes.
So you mean any conditional sentence must have two clauses.
Yes.
The clause which starts
State
with
condition,
if is
yes,
called if clause, and let's say the second clause is called the result clause or the main clause.
Or the main,
of course, we can start our sentence with an if clause, and we can start it with the result clause.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say, if you arrive early, we will go shopping.
Yes.
So I can say, we will go shopping if you arrive early. So we can start our sentence with the if clause, and we can start it
with the
result clause.
Yeah.
So please, before, now this is the structure. But of course, what about the types of conditionals?
We have four types.
Four types. Let us start with these types, the zero conditional
and first conditional.
Please.
Yes, zero conditional
We can use the laptop, please. Thank you.
When we talk about statements in the or about general conditions, about facts, with the if plus present simple, the result present simple without will.
Good.
So, if you heat ice, it melts. This is truth. It is fact. Yes? This is about the zero conditional. So it is zero without will. Zero
And
will.
as you
This
said,
is what I tell my
as I
students.
said, we can let's start our sentence with the result clause.
Yes.
We can say ice melts
Yes.
if you heat it.
Yes.
Right?
Vice versa.
Thank you.
Yes,
Uh,
it melts.
And
This is the zero, the form of the
Yeah.
zero.
Yes.
Of course, we can talk about it later on or now. For example, maybe a student may ask the following question. Why do we use zero conditionals in general? Okay, we know the form
to talk about
of
facts.
this zero conditional. We know that we use zero form in the if clause and zero form in maybe or present simple, present simple in both clauses.
Yes.
But that's why we call them zero conditionals
Zero
maybe
conditional,
because of the form of the
Yes.
verbs in both units, in both
clauses.
clauses, the same. But why do we use such a type of conditionals?
To talk about facts or to talk about situations that follow each other naturally,
So
Automatically, yes.
automatically or naturally.
the example here,
It's
the
about
example
facts.
mentioned here,
It's about facts.
it's a fact.
I can give
If
you
you
one
heat ice,
about
it melts.
yes.
Or ice melts if you heat it.
Yes.
Water boils if you heat it.
Yes.
Water freezes if the temperature is below 0 degrees centigrade, and so on. So
Yes.
all these are facts. So when we talk about facts, we use zero conditionals. What else?
When we talk about statements that follow each other naturally. So if I say, if you are hungry, you eat.
Let's talk about kids, Miss
Kids,
Sousan.
yeah.
Children cry, for example. This is what you mean. If they are hungry.
Hungry.
You
Yes.
eat. They
Babies
eat.
cry if they
eat,
are
yes.
wet or if they are hungry. It's okay. What else?
If you are tired, go to bed, or you go to bed.
That's
If
it.
you- yes.
Sequence of events.
Sequence
This
of
is
events
what you
follow
mean.
each other naturally. Yes.
Yes. What else? What about habits or habitual
Habitual
actions?
actions, yeah.
Habitual.
Maybe? For example,
It's almost
Mr.
the same.
Amjad.
If you get up early, you catch the bus.
That's it. If you or if I have free time, I always visit my friend. It's
Yeah.
a habitual action.
Habitual action,
It means
yeah.
that I always do this.
It's a habit,
If I have,
just like the
that's it.
statements that follow each
Exactly.
other, the same.
Exactly. Exactly. So maybe if you compare them,
Yeah.
it's
It's
the
the
same
same,
case.
yes.
It's the same case.
Yes, yeah.
So in general, we say we use zero
Zero
conditionals for facts
Facts and,
for
habits.
Habitual
habits or habitual
Habitual actions.
events. Yes,
actions.
or sequence of events when we have a sequence of events.
Yes,
Thank
this
you
is-
very much. That's everything about the zero
Zero
condition. So
conditional.
we use the present simple in both clauses.
Yeah.
In the if clause we have present simple, and in the result clause we have present
Subject
simple.
and
Present simple.
simple
I mean the
present verb
tense.
in the simple present.
What about the first conditionals, please?
Okay, first conditional is when we have if plus present simple in the if clause, and we have will plus infinitive in the result clause. So, if it rains, I will wear a jacket. This is an example. I can start the sentence either with the if clause or with the will clause. I have another sentence with which start with will. She will watch TV if she has time.
Good.
So, with simple if plus simple present, the other one is a will with infinitive.
Good. This is the form. Of
Yeah,
course,
this
we
is
are
the form.
going later on to talk about
The meaning.
why we use the
Yes.
first conditionals. But now you are just focusing
On
About the
on the form or
Yeah.
the structure of type 1
Exactly.
or the
Yes.
first conditionals.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Sousan. Mr.
you.
Amjad, please. We have two other types of
Conditional
conditionals.
sentences.
Type 2 and type 3.
3, yes. In the second
Yes, please.
conditional, as we said, we have two clauses. In the if clause, we have the past simple of the verb in the if clause. And in the result clause, we have would plus infinitive or zero form of the verb. As in the following example, if I had more money, I would buy a car. I can say, I can start with the result clause. I would buy a car if I had more money.
You mean now, if you had more money,
Yeah.
you would buy a car,
Yeah.
but you don't have
The form is past.
enough money.
But
Yes.
the action is
Maybe
present.
I'm trying to focus on the form,
meaning.
Mr. Amjad,
Just-
because maybe some students think or
Yeah.
believe that because we have past here, so this type is used to talk
No.
about something
Happened.
happened in the past.
No.
That's not true. Of course, we are going to
To
discuss
talk- yes,
this
discuss.
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the third conditional, we have past perfect in the if clause and would plus have plus past participle in the result clause. As in the following example, if I had known about the party, I would have gone. I can start the third conditional with the result clause. As in the following example, I would have gone to the party if I had known about it. Here also, as Mr. Basil said, we are going to talk and discuss why do we use third conditional later. But we are now focusing just on the form. On the form.
It's
yes.
unreal condition.
Yeah, later we
The
will.
meaning.
Yeah, we will.
We can discuss this later.
We
but
discuss. Yes.
Here, of course,
We
the
are
example,
just
if I had known
focusing on
about
the
the
form.
party, I would have gone. We use what we call past perfect in the
Yes.
if clause, and maybe perfect conditional in the
yeah.
result clause. Would and the present perfect have an
Have
verb
and
free.
past
Of course, we can, as I said, begin or start our sentence with the if clause,
Clause.
and we can start
started
it
with
with
the result
clause.
clause.
Yes, that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Amjad. Now, Ms. Sausan,
Yes.
let's talk about, before going on to talk about each type alone,
Yes.
we can, let's say, conclude in general that
Yes.
any conditional sentence must have two clauses, an if clause
and
a
result
clause
one.
or a result
clause.
clause. For example, if I hear any news, as it is written here in this slide on the laptop, if I hear any news,
I'll phone you.
phone you, or
I'll phone
you
you
if I hear any news.
any
So,
news.
as I said, we can start the sentence with the if clause or the result clause.
clause,
So, okay. Now, the three types now, maybe we can say, of course, there are four types, but
Yeah.
the main types,
Are three.
or the common types,
The common types
are three.
yes, are three.
There are three common verb patterns. Please,
Yes.
Ms. Sausan.
There are three common verb patterns that they are type 1, if plus simple present, will plus infinitive. If we take a bus, it will be cheaper. Type 2, with the second conditional, with verb to and would. If we took a bus, it would be cheaper. Type 3, if we had taken a bus, it is with if plus had and verb 3. The result clause would have would plus have and been verb 3. If we had taken a bus, it would have been cheaper.
Of course, they are different
Yeah.
in the form, and at the same
meaning.
time they are different
in the meaning.
in the meaning, not
Yeah.
only in the form.
form.
Good. That's everything about the three main common types. Now, let's start with type 1 and talk about it in details, please. Ms. Sausan.
Yes. Now, type 1, if plus present simple and will. If you post the letter today, it will get there by Thursday. So there is a possibility of happening in the future.
So,
Future
because
possibility.
we use will, of course,
Yes.
the student should know here that we use type 1 to talk about something that
Will happen
may
in the
happen
future.
in the future if the condition has been achieved.
Yes.
Yes.
So
that's
if the condition has been achieved, something will happen in the future.
Yeah.
So if you post the letter today, it will get there by Thursday. That's it.
We have another sentence. If you don't hurry, the others will go without us. So,
We should hear it.
yeah. And
Okay.
here the present tense in the if clause refers to a possible future action.
Possible future action. So we
Yes.
can say in general that we use type 1 to talk about something in the future,
Sure.
and we say that this case is possible to happen
In the future,
if,
yes.
of course, in the future, if the condition
Achieved.
has been
It's
achieved.
been achieved. Yes.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank
This
you.
is type 1.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Amjad, please,
Yes.
would you please talk about type 2, type
Yes.
3, because maybe in both cases here we have something imaginative.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
the same.
Unreal.
Unreal. Exactly. Please.
Yes. As we said, in the conditional sentences type 2, we have past simple in the if clause and we have would plus infinitive in the result clause. But, of course, the form is past, but the action
The event
is
is
present. We here in this conditional, the past tense in the if clause refers to something unreal, something imaginary. We are imagining here in type 2.
If I had £1 million,
For example, if I had
I
a
would
million pounds, I would probably
house.
buy
So-
a house.
But I don't.
I don't have.
So this is
Yeah.
what you mean. I am imagining something about the present,
Yeah.
which is not true.
Which is
So
not
we
true.
talk
It's
here
unreal,
about
yes.
something untrue
Yeah.
in the present.
Yeah.
In the present,
Yeah.
not in the past. So this verb here, which is had in the if clause, is called unreal
Real
past.
past, yes.
Unreal past.
Past.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Before we go on, Mr. Amjad, I think we have a call. Christine from Hama. Good afternoon, Christine.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thanks for your call. And your question, please.
Can we use present continuous in conditional sentences type 1?
Good question. Of course, Mr. Amjad, please.
Yes. My dear student, Christine.
Yes.
Yes, your question is quite clear. Of course, in English, we can use all present tenses in type 1 in the if clause. But please, this is my advice for you, for all of you, my dear students. Try to keep what's required in the course and forget everything about everything out of the course. For example, if for your question, this is an answer for your question. If he is standing in the rain, he will catch cold. This is conditional sentence type 1. Here we use present continuous in the if clause. Is standing. He is standing. This is a present continuous tense here. So this conditional sentence is accepted. You can use all present tenses in the if clause in conditional sentences type 1.
Is it clear,
Is it clear,
Christine?
my dear students?
Christine.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Christine.
Thank you.
We have just explained the form of the 3 types of conditionals, right?
Okay.
We said that in type 1, we use present simple in the if clause.
Yeah.
And we use future form in the result clause. That's it. So let's say we don't say, of course, that you cannot use, let's say, another tense in type 1. But this is what is, let's say, required in the baccalaureate for the time being. But of course, when in language, when we talk about language,
In general,
of course, okay, we can use the present continuous. Why not?
Present
But
perfect,
it's not
present
our,
perfect
let's
continuous,
say,
yes.
subject.
Yeah.
It's not our subject
yeah.
here. Our subject here is focused on the form of the 3 types of conditionals,
sentences,
and
yes.
let's say the main tenses used in the 3 types. So follow this strategy, follow this rule, and forget about anything else, because I think even in the final exam, I know why you asked such a question, because you are thinking of the final exam. In the final exam, I think they ask you about something, the basic skills. They don't ask you about something, let's say,
More
which is
elaborated.
have more details,
Yes.
or not basic, not clear.
In the course,
no. It must be mentioned in your course.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the present continuous is not mentioned
Yes,
in your
only the
curriculum,
three
in your
types.
course.
Yeah.
So because it is not mentioned, it means that it is not
Not
required.
required.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is wrong to say that we can't use
we
the
can't.
present continuous.
No, we can use all
can
present
use it,
tenses. All
but
present
it is
tenses.
not
Yeah.
required in the baccalaureate.
Yeah.
Do you understand me now? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have another question?
No, I don't.
Okay. Good luck, Christine. Thanks for your call.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
luck. Good luck. Thank you. Dear students, I'd like to remind you that you can wait for some minutes till we finish the explanation. We hope so, but we know that you are trying to call us, to phone us, because you have a lot of questions and you need answers. It's your right to ask, and we will be waiting for your, of course, questions. But for the time being, Mr. Amjad, please, you were
Yes.
talking about
Type 3, yes. In type 3 we have past.
type 2.
We finished.
You said we use the type 2 to talk about something unreal,
Unreal, impresent,
something imaginary.
imaginary, yeah.
Good. So before we go on, sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe some students ask the following question. This case, is it possible or not possible or impossible? What about it?
Impossible.
We said impossible for now,
For now.
but
For the
not
present.
Not for
Forever.
Forever.
I mean,
Forever.
when we talk about type 2,
Yeah.
we said that it is possible to happen in the future
Yeah.
if the condition has been achieved.
Has been achieved.
In
yes.
type 2, we can say it is not possible now,
No, yeah.
or it's impossible now.
Yeah, at the present.
Because I
At the
am not
present.
a millionaire
Yeah.
to buy a house, so it's not possible,
Possible.
now. But
Yes.
it could be
In the
possible.
future, maybe.
in the
future. In the future.
In the future, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe achieved.
So this is what I mean.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. What about type 3,
Type
please?
yeah, in the conditional sentences type 3, we have past perfect in the if clause, and we have would plus have plus past participle in the result clause. Of course, in this type, I mean type 3, here we use the past perfect to talk about what didn't happen in, here the action is
The fact is exactly the opposite.
The opposite, yeah.
You mean what happened
past.
is exactly the opposite of the conditional.
Exactly.
This is what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
For example, the fact is mentioned here, Mr.
Yeah,
Amjad.
yeah.
We lost.
Yeah.
We lost the game.
Yeah.
For the match.
If we had won the match, we would have got through the final. It means that we lost the match. We didn't win the match, so
he said that.
Yeah.
He said we lost.
So we didn't get through the final.
Exactly. So he is imagining
in the second,
opposite.
Yeah, that's in the second example. If we had taken your advice, we would have saved a lot of time.
Yes.
It means that we didn't take your advice, so we didn't save a lot of money.
Good.
A lot of time.
Good. Good. So here we use the past perfect to talk about what?
Something.
To talk about something
untrue
that didn't happen, as we said.
untrue or
Something
unreal in the past.
Untrue or unreal in the past.
Yeah.
So the fact is exactly, I mean, what happened is exactly the opposite of the condition.
Exactly.
When I say, if you had studied well,
you
would have passed the exam. It means that
you didn't
study well, so you didn't pass
the exam.
That's it.
That's
good. Now I think we have Ms. Sausan. Thank you, Mr. Amjad. We have an exercise.
Yes, correct the
And,
verb in brackets.
This is exactly
Correction.
what, let's say, comes in the final exam.
yeah.
Especially in the question related to tenses,
yeah,
or connected
correct
with tenses.
Yes.
I phone you if I arrive early, please.
Okay, I will phone you if I arrive early, because it's first conditional, it's present, simple present.
Yeah. In sentence number 2, if you told me a secret, I wouldn't tell anyone. Here we use would plus not plus tell. Why? Because in the if clause we have simple past. Told.
Good.
Yes, in the third example we have I would, so I should use verb 2. If I were you, I would apologize to the teacher for being impolite. Usually I take was, but here we can say were because it's unreal.
So I am imagining something
If
about
I
the
were
present.
you,
Yeah.
yes.
About the present.
Now, sentence number 4. If
It's
I
the
were,
same, I think.
Yeah. If I were rich, I would buy my parents a new car. Here we have simple past in the if clause, so we use would plus by. And here I have a very important point to refer to here about the use of where. We know that I, he, she, it.
Take usually
Yeah,
was.
usually take was, but we can use where here. Why? Because where is more formal
Yes.
than was.
Yes, yes.
Another example, if I see the accident, I would have phoned. As long as we have would have phoned, so we should use had plus verb 3. If I had seen the accident, I would have phoned for help.
Good.
Yeah, the last sentence.
It means that I didn't see the accident,
Yeah,
Yes,
and I didn't
couldn't
phone
help.
for help.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
The last sentence, if the driver has fastened his seatbelt, he would have saved his life. This is conditional sentence type 3. We have past perfect in the if clause, so we use would plus have plus past participle.
It means
in the,
that the driver, of course,
didn't fasten his seatbelt,
fasten his seatbelt, so he didn't save his life.
His life.
I mean, he was dead.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Another exercise,
Yes.
Ms. Hossan, please.
If I have simple present, if I have enough money, then I should use will in the second sentence. I will go to Canada.
Yeah, sentence number 2. If I had enough money, I would go to Canada. Here we have past simple in the if clause, so we use would plus infinitive in the result clause.
Yes. Now, the next sentence, we have would plus have and verb 3. So, if I had enough money, I would have gone to Canada.
If I had
Yes, enough money.
So the past
have
perfect
had
of
and
have is had.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Would
Sentence-
have gone to Canada.
Yeah. Sentence number 4. If I were you, I would apologize to the teacher. If I were you, but I am not you, so I will not.
I'm just imagining.
Yeah, just imagining.
If the driver hadn't driven,
Yes, if the driver hadn't driven too fast, he wouldn't have had an accident.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we didn't have electricity, modern life would be difficult. Here we have simple past and the if clause, so we use would plus infinitive.
Yes. If there were no legal systems, this is second conditional, some people would behave badly.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you very
Thank
much. Now, dear students, we hope that everything is clear about the conditionals. Now we have something else. We have a different skill,
Yeah.
which is, I think,
Positive.
again,
A
which
new
is
skill.
also important
Yeah.
for the students, the causative verb have. Of course, before we start, dear students, let us see just one slide on the laptop, because I'm trying just to introduce the topic. Thank you very much. Here, when I say, for example, I cut my hair, you know that this structure is called the active,
Yeah.
the active voice or the active structure, because here the speaker is the doer. I mean, this sentence tells us what the subject did,
Yes.
right? So in this case, when we have this order, a subject,
A
a
verb,
verb, and an object,
object,
we call this form or this structure
active.
Of course, you know another structure. So here the speaker is the doer. But we have another structure in English, which is, for example, when I say, my house or our house was painted by my father, for example. So here the sentence tells us what happened to the subject.
Yeah.
So in this case, we call this form passive.
Passive.
So
Yes.
we have active, we have passive.
Passive.
I mean, we can write a sentence in English in the active voice. We can
Yes.
write it
In
in
the
the passive
passive
voice.
voice.
We know that.
Yeah.
But we can write it also in a different form, which is called the
Causative.
causative. What is the causative? What about the form? Miss Sosan, please. Would you
Yes.
please start with the form, please?
We have the subject plus have and object plus verb 3.
This is the form.
This is the form of the causative verb.
Have here is written between brackets to
Yes.
refer that
If the
we
sentence
can
is
use have
present,
in any tense.
has
Yeah.
or had, yes.
Yes.
Can use have in any tense,
Tense
not only
variations, yeah.
in the
Yeah,
past simple,
variation.
not only in the present simple
No,
or in the future.
In
We
all
can
tenses.
use have in
Have.
any tense.
All
Yes,
tenses.
have,
So
has
here,
or had.
this is the form of the causative, dear students. A subject, verb to have in any tense, the object, and verb
verb
3.
three.
Of course, before we go on, we should mention that we have many causative verbs in English,
Yeah.
not only have.
Yeah.
For example, we have
Get.
make,
We have allow.
get, which is informal, of course. Maybe it gives the same meaning of have. But we have other causative verbs, make, allow, let, etc. When I say I made Amjad close the door,
Yeah.
or to close the door. I allow Amjad use my laptop. I let Amjad use my laptop or to use
Yes, they must be followed by the zero form of the verb.
all these causative verbs, exactly. After the object, we use the zero form.
Yeah.
I allow Amjad use
Yeah.
or to use,
use,
but
yes.
not used.
Yeah.
So all causative verbs, after the object, they take the zero form.
Yeah.
But when we talk about the causative verb have, the case is different.
Yeah.
You notice here that after the object we use verb 3.
Yeah.
So we can conclude in general that we can write the sentence, dear students, in 3 different structures. We
yeah.
can write it in the active, we can write it
in
in
the
the
passive,
and we can write it
in
the
the
causative.
in the
causative.
causative. But what is the meaning
Yeah.
of the causative? And here is our topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Amjad, please.
Yes. Here, the speaker in the causative form or construction is not the doer of the action. Here, someone else did the action. Here, the speaker is responsible for causing someone else to do the action.
So when I say I cut my hair myself, it means that I am the doer. The speaker is the doer.
The speaker is the doer of the
But
action.
when I say I had
Had
my
my-
hair cut, it means that
I caused
I am not the
someone to
doer.
cut
Maybe I went to the barber.
I asked someone to cut my
Yeah,
hair.
yeah.
I'm not the doer.
No.
So this is the purpose of using the causative.
Causative in
Now,
English, yeah.
Of course, many students now ask or they hope to tell them that in the final exam, how we ask them
To
or they
change.
ask them in the Ministry of Education about the causative. Of course, in the causative here, in the final exam, it comes maybe one of the cases between brackets
Yes.
when we say rewrite
Write
the
the
following
following
statements
sentence
as
as
required
required
in
in
brackets.
brackets. Yeah.
One of these, let's say, questions
Questions.
could be
Yeah.
causative verb have,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah.
So we give the student a sentence,
Sentence.
maybe,
And between brackets, we ask him to
and ask him to use the causative verb have.
have, just
We
have.
name
Yeah.
the causative verb have, exactly
Exactly.
have. But here, what about the cases? I mean, in which tense is the sentence given in the exam is in the negative or in the positive? Of course, we have cases.
Yeah.
We should focus on these cases,
Yeah.
Yes.
Ms. Sousan, Mr. Amjad.
Yeah.
So, but the main purpose, as you said, we use the causative when the speaker is not the doer,
Yeah.
but someone else. That's it.
Yes.
Now, let's try to give more examples. Ms. Sousan, please.
Yes, use the causative verb have. My brother didn't repair the machine himself.
So, my brother didn't repair the machine himself. It means that he asked someone else
To repair it
to do
for
the
him.
action or to
Yeah.
repair the
Repair.
machine for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So when we ask the student to use the causative verb have, he
Yes.
should use the causative in the positive,
Yeah.
Because
not
it's
in the
negative.
negative.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
My brother, we can say he instead of my brother.
Yeah.
Of course.
We use the pronoun
of course,
he.
of course.
Had, because it is simple past, had the machine or it
Repaired.
repaired.
Verb 3.
Yes.
So here, instead of my brother, we can use he. And here, as you said, the tense here in the sentence is called simple past negative.
Yes.
So we should use verb to have in the simple
Affirmative.
past
Affirmative.
affirmative.
Yes, not negative.
So, exactly.
Take out
the past
not.
simple of have is had.
Yeah.
That's it. And the object is the machine. We can use the same word and we can use the pronoun it because it is singular.
Yeah.
Yes.
If the object is singular, use it.
Yes.
If the object is plural,
plural,
use them.
Yes.
Machines, for example, we
them.
can say them instead. So repaired is verb 3, and that's it. So easy. Good.
Yes.
Another example, Mr. Amjad, thank you.
My brother repaired the machine. Another,
here-
another example, yeah.
here-
but here in the
The
affirmative.
case is different.
Yeah.
The sentence here is in the affirmative.
Affirmative, yeah. We have simple past affirmative. My brother repaired the machine himself. Here, the case is simple past, or the tense is simple past affirmative. So we have to use the negative past in the causative verb. It becomes as follows: he didn't have it repaired. Here we use he instead of my brother. We use did. Why? Because the case is simple past affirmative. We use have, the infinitive of had, and we use the object it. Why? Because the object, the machine, is singular, and we use the past participle of the verb repair, repaired.
Good. So, repaired is in the past simple positive or affirmative.
Affirmative.
So that's what we should use now. Have in the past simple negative.
Negative.
The past simple negative of have is didn't have.
Yeah.
Maybe some students think that we should use hadn't. Hadn't is not simple past.
No.
It's past perfect.
Past perfect,
So
yeah.
please, dear students, don't mix
Yes.
between the past perfect and the
And
simple past. Don't use hadn't at all. It is didn't have,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
hadn't.
We negate it
So,
by didn't.
That's it. Another example, Ms. Sosa,
Yes.
please.
I couldn't repair the computer myself, so I had it repaired.
Good.
Yes?
Yes, next. Brides rarely make their own wedding dresses. Here we have to refer to a very important point, that the adverb rarely expresses negation here.
Yes. It's not,
Partially,
like not.
partially refers to negation. So the sentence in the
So the word rarely here refers to
To- As if not.
something negative,
negative, yeah.
not affirmative.
No.
Good.
So we use the causative
In the affirmative.
in the affirmative. They have them made.
When I say I rarely visit Amjad, it means that I don't visit him,
Yeah.
Almost, yeah.
right? So brides rarely make, it means that they don't make
Yeah.
their own wedding dresses.
Dresses.
So it is
They have them
negative.
Yeah.
That's why we should use have.
Have.
Why? Because
Was
make here,
here.
the main verb, is simple past,
Simple present.
simple present,
Present.
sorry, affirmative.
Affirmative. No,
Right?
negative.
Make. I'm
Make.
talking
About
about make.
make, yeah.
And because rarely here,
The-
before
yeah.
the verb,
Yeah.
refers to something negative,
Negative,
so the
so-
whole sentence is in the negative form.
Yeah.
So that's why we should use simple present affirmative.
Affirmative.
I agree with you,
Yeah.
Mr. Amjad.
Thank you.
So
Yes.
they have them made. Them, instead of saying their own wedding dresses, 4 words here. Of course, the student can write them.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So we replace
But
them
maybe
with them.
it's simpler, right?
To use
to
them.
write them instead.
as an object.
Exactly, to use a pronoun, I mean.
Pronoun, yeah, instead of.
They have them made. That's it.
Yes. Another example, people don't service their cars themselves. So we have simple present and it is don't. So we should use the affirmative causative. They have them serviced.
They
Yes.
have, yes.
Okay, before we go
Instead
on.
of people, we
So,
say they, and
Yes.
instead of their cars, we use them. And
Good.
we use service in the third serviced. We add
Okay.
T.
People don't service their cars here. Don't service, it is negative.
Yes.
Present simple,
Simple,
negative.
negative, yeah.
This is
Right?
why I use
So,
affirmative in the
We should
causative
say
one.
they have them, we mean the
Serviced.
cars, of
Yeah.
course, serviced,
Yeah.
because it is the past simple, the past
Yes.
participle or verb 3 of the verb service.
Service,
Yes,
yeah.
Right?
that's right.
It is a regular verb. Before we go on, we have, I think, a call. Yamama, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you, Yamama?
I'm fine.
Good.
I have a question.
Why not? It's okay.
What's
Your
the
question?
What's the difference between the passive and the causative?
The passive and
The causative.
the causative. Thank you. Maybe we have just referred
Talked about.
to the structure in general. You know the structure, the form, I mean. In the passive, we use the object. Let me try to conclude the three steps of making passive. To make passive, dear Yamama, we have three steps. First, step one, we should use the object as a subject. Okay?
Yes.
For example, my father painted the house. The house is the object. We use the object as a subject. Step number two, we use verb to be in the same tense or form as the active verb. I mean, if the active verb is in the present simple, use be in the present simple. Past simple, use be in the past simple. Future, use be in the future. Present perfect, use be in the present perfect, and so on. So present continuous, it's the same. Use be in the present continuous. So that's it. Step number three, we use the past participle or verb 3 of the active verb. Now, if you want to mention the doer of the action in the passive, it must be preceded by the word by. Okay? So it becomes an agent. For example, our house was painted by my father. My father here becomes the agent in the passive. So this is the passive. When we read any sentence in the passive, it tells us what happened to the subject, right?
Yes.
Good. But the causative is something different. The causative here, when I say, I had the house painted, it means that I didn't paint.
I didn't
paint the house myself.
I asked
someone else to paint the house for me. Okay?
Okay.
This is the difference. I can say my house was painted by me. Okay? It means that I painted the house.
Yeah.
Right? But when I say I had the house painted, it means that someone else painted the house
for me.
Not me, the speaker. Okay?
Yes.
This is the main difference. So we have active, passive, and causative. Do you have any other question, Imama?
No, thank you.
Okay, good luck. Thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe we have something, another example.
Yes,
Mr. Amjad.
the last one. We didn't cut the trees in our garden ourselves. Here we have simple past negative. So we use had in the affirmative, in the past simple. Why? Because we have didn't. We have the object, the trees. We replace it with the object pronoun them. And we have the past participle of the verb cut.
Good. So didn't cut.
We had them
trees
cut.
In our garden ourselves. We had them cut.
Cut.
Or cut down.
Yeah. Cut
Maybe
down.
we need a preposition here,
Yeah, cut down.
to let's say clarify the case
The verb cut.
better.
Yeah.
Because cut is not cut down.
Yeah.
They
There's
the
a difference,
students should know this. Maybe it's okay. It
But for
refers to
trees,
something, but
particularly
when we
for
say
trees.
I cut the tree,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that I cut it down.
Down. Yeah.
Maybe I cut some branches maybe from the tree.
The tree,
I
yeah.
cut the tree down.
It means completely.
Cut down trees
Completely
is
being
that
cut down,
completely cut down.
Yeah.
So it's okay. That's everything about the causative. I think we hope, dear students, that everything is clear now. Maybe before we go on to, let's say, discuss some exercises, some texts in the student's book as well as the activity book, let's have a short break, dear students, dear colleagues, and then we can go back. welcome back, dear students. Hello again to our seminar for today, in which we are discussing Unit 9. Before the break, of course, as you know, we were talking about the grammatical skills, let's say, mentioned in Unit 9. We talked also about the conditionals before we talked about the causative verb have. We know that we have something else. We have some connecting words, in fact, mentioned in Unit 9, which we use for comparison. Of course, when we do some exercises in Unit 9, we can talk about them. But now, for the time being, let me start the unit. I'm sorry, maybe page 70. Am I right? Page 70.
Yes. Unit
That's
9.
it. Here we are. Now, dear students, as you can see in the laptop, in Unit 9, here the grammar, when we talk about a grammar, having things done, it's the causative verb rule. Of course, we have, when we talk about vocabulary, we have some musical instruments, and maybe we can talk about ways of playing instruments, how to play the violin, for example, how to play the guitar, how to, and so on. Ways of playing instruments, musical instruments. We have some musical idioms related to music, of course. They are related to music. And we have a text here. Before we, let's say, go on to the text, maybe we have at page 72, dear students, in exercise 1, we have some new vocabulary. Of course, they talk about, or they are musical instruments, in fact, and they are mentioned in the picture here, clarified. Maybe we use numbers here, and we have a list at the top of the exercise. Miss Susan, please.
Yes.
Exercise 1.
Exercise 1.
We need just to match the words with the correct pictures.
1 is piano.
Mm-hmm.
2 is tabla.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is accordion.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is violin. Number 5 is flute. Yes. Number 6 is guitar. 7 trumpet, and we have the oud in the last.
Good, thank you. Now, as it is mentioned in Unit 9, Mr. Amjad, we have ways to play these musical instruments.
Yeah.
We have some verbs here mentioned: blow, bow, hit, pluck, and strum.
Yeah.
Would you please try to explain this exercise and try to do it in general, and maybe refer to why we use this verb and why we use this verb and so on.
Yeah. We know that each musical instrument has its own verb. We use the verb play musical instruments. But here in this exercise, we have 5 verbs that are used specifically for each one of these musical instruments. The first verb is blow. Blow here is used for musical instruments like saxophone and trumpets. The second verb, bow, is used for a musical instrument like a violin. Hit for those percussion musical instruments. Pluck and strum are similar in some way, and they are used for those stringed musical instruments. Now let's do the exercise.
So we have a pluck and strum. Both these verbs, both of them,
are used with stringed.
Any musical instrument which has strings.
Yeah, strings.
So what is the difference between them?
Pluck, you can play on these strings with a tool. Like a feather,
for example.
Yeah.
So I don't use my fingers.
Yeah.
I can use a tool to make the strings move to produce the sound. Pluck.
Yeah.
But when we say strum the guitar, for example,
we use our fingers.
So I produce the sound by using my fingers. I make the strings move or vibrate
to produce sound
by using my fingers.
Yes.
Good.
A, sentence number A, you have to blow saxophone and trumpets. Here we use the verb blow because we have saxophone and trumpets. B, you can pluck or strum a guitar, but you usually bow a violin. In sentence C,
Bow here.
Bow.
Let's stop at the verb bow, please. Bow here is the same. I mean, it's a verb
and the noun.
When we talk about it as a noun, I think it means a stick,
Yeah.
Of wood.
a stick
Yes.
which has a string
Yeah.
Fastened.
fastened
Then,
from end
to the
end, right?
Yeah.
It is fastened, I mean the string
Yeah.
is fastened on this stick
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
and we use this tool
On,
to
yeah.
make the sound,
Sound, to produce,
right? So
yeah.
the violin has a number of strings,
Yeah.
and we use this stick which has a string,
Yeah.
right, to
To
touch
bow
maybe
the violin.
Yeah.
to touch the strings on,
On
the
the
violin,
violin
to produce the
produce a
sound.
sound,
So
yeah.
we say bow a
Bow,
violin.
yeah.
That's why we say bow a violin.
Yeah.
Good.
C, sentence C, you hit percussion instruments which with sticks or your hands. Hit. Here we have percussion instruments like tabla.
Yes.
Before we go on, thank you, Mr. Amjad. Thank you very much.
Thank
Julia from Homs, good afternoon. Julia?
Hello, Mr. Amjad.
Hello, Mr. Amjad. She's talking to you. Mercy. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Julia, you
Yeah.
can talk with Mr. Amjad.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes, yes,
Julia.
please. Yes, my dear student. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, yes, please.
Can we use get instead of has as a causative verb?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Is there anything else?
No.
Yeah. We have just referred to this fact when we began talking about the causative verbs. Of course, we can use get instead of have, but get is less formal than have. Here, as we mentioned before, try to keep using the verb have as a causative verb in your course. Why? Because in the exam you are going to
Ask
be
it from
asked
the book.
about the causative verb
We
have.
have.
Please.
Not any other verb.
Not
Yes.
any other causative verb. In English we have many causative verbs, but in your course in the baccalaureate we have the causative verb have. And you know, in the exam you are going to be asked about this causative verb have.
Julia,
Julia.
may I add something? Julia?
Yes, Mr.
Of course,
Basir.
in the exam, we ask use the causative verb have.
Have.
So we name the verb
Yeah.
to you. So you are not allowed to use any other verb, but only have. Okay?
Okay.
That's it. Any other question, Julia?
No, thank you very much.
Okay.
Mr.
Welcome.
Thank
Good luck.
you.
Good luck. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. We play musical instruments. You
Yes.
talked about the ways we play.
Yes.
We follow to play musical instruments.
Instruments.
So in general, because we use air, for example, with some musical instruments which needs
To
air
blow.
to produce
Yes.
a sound, we say
Blow.
we blow saxophones, we blow the trumpets. But when we have a musical instrument which has some strings, we use
pluck
or
or
strum.
strum.
So we say we pluck the guitar or strum a guitar.
Yeah.
But
We
of course,
bow a
when we
violin.
talk about the violin, we say we bow a violin
A
because
violin.
we use a stick
Stick
with
with
a
a
string, right? So that's
Tied
why
to
we
the
use
ends, yeah.
bow a violin. And
We have
when we
hit.
talk about percussion instruments,
Yes, we use hit.
we use
Either
hit.
with the sticks or your hands.
Of
Yeah.
course, we can use a stick,
Okay.
Sticks or
or
hands.
we
Hand.
use our hands
Hands.
to produce the sound
Yes, to
on
hit the
tabla,
tabla.
for
On
example, on tabla. Okay. Now, at the same time here, we have some musical idioms. When we talk about musical idioms, here in exercise 3, dear students, you are asked here to match the underlined musical idioms. Can we use the laptop, please? Thank you very much. We can. You are asked to match the underlined music idioms in these statements with one of the meanings from 1 to 4. let's first, dear students, read the meanings. Miss Susan, please.
Yes.
The
Now,
meanings only, please. What
put
are
up-
the meanings?
Yes, meanings. First sentence, put up with the consequences of something one has done or accept punishment. Number 2, change one's mind. Number 3, boast or say good things about oneself. And number 4, teach by frequent repetition.
Thank you.
Yes.
Before doing this exercise, we have a call from Hama. Fadi, good afternoon. Fadi,
نعم.
good
Hello.
afternoon. Fadi, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, Fadi.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Your question, please.
My question is, can we use who instead of whom in relative clauses?
It depends. Sometimes the answer is yes, we can use it. But in formal English, it's better to use whom when you talk about an object, I mean not the doer of the action. For example, this is the man who visited me last night. So here you are talking about the doer.
Of
He
the action.
visited you, so he is the doer. But when you say this is the man whom I visited, so he is not the doer, it's an object case. So we use whom when we talk about an object, and we use who when we talk about a subject. But both of them are used to talk about people, right?
Right.
Good, but in the exam, it's okay. Sometimes you can use both. For example, you can ask, with who did you go? And you can say, with whom did you go? But it's informal. The formal English is,
Whom?
with whom, or whom did you go with? Or who did you go with? You can say that. Who did you go with? It's okay. Whom did you go with? It's okay. With whom did you go with? It's okay.
But with who?
With who?
Inform.
It's informal. But sometimes the case is accepted in the final exam, especially in grade 9, because it's English, it's
Yeah, it's
okay,
English.
but it's informal. The formal is whom, not who.
Yeah. In general, when we have a preposition before who as a subject, as an object relative pronoun, it's preferable to use whom. Why? Because it's more formal than who.
Thank you. Okay, Fadi? Fadi?
No, yes, sir.
But of course, if we talk about a missing word, for example, you know that in the final exam you have a paragraph, a short one,
Yes.
with spaces, and you need to use a relative pronoun, right?
Right.
So, for example, if you have a sentence like this, Tariq, space, okay, bought this car, is my close friend. Of course, here you have only one choice. You have to use who, not
Yes.
whom. Who bought this car? Okay? Because Tariq is the doer, Fadi.
The subject.
Is the doer of the action.
Yes.
He did the action.
Action.
So here you have only one choice, which is who. Whom is not correct in this case.
Yeah.
We are talking about
The doer.
whom when we talk about the object case. If you are talking about an object, okay, you can use whom or who. It's okay.
Yeah.
But when we talk about a subject, you can use who only, not whom.
Yeah.
Okay, Fadi?
All right.
Is it clear?
It's clear, sir.
Thanks for your call. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's try to do the exercise, dear colleagues.
Yes.
The first sentence, Ms. Susan.
Layla is very good at blowing her own trumpet, so she will probably get that job. Now, blowing her own trumpet means to boast about herself and to
She
talk.
praises herself
praises
a lot.
herself a lot. So
She says good things about
Yes.
herself.
So it should go to number 3 in the meaning, boast and say good things about oneself.
Good.
Yes.
So when we say he blows in his trumpet,
He
it means
boasts
that
about himself.
he praises
Yes.
himself too much. He
He
says
talks
good things
too much about
about himself.
Himself.
So much about himself. Yes.
And it's in fact a bad habit in our community sometimes.
yes.
Okay.
B.
B, yeah.
Okay.
If you break the law, you have to face the music. This is a
To
conditional
face,
sentence.
yes.
If you have to, if you
This-
break the law, you have to face the music.
The music here, the music idioms here, to face the music means to accept punishment.
Punishment,
To
yes.
accept punishment.
To accept
And here
punishment.
we have to refer to a very important point that this sentence is conditional sentence type 1.
Yes.
And
Oh, good.
here have to replaces will. Why?
Good,
Because
good,
this
good.
sentence expresses necessity.
Exactly.
Yes.
Not, it doesn't talk about something which will happen,
in the
once.
future.
I mean,
yeah.
in the future.
Yeah, it's an obligation.
It happens
happen
at any
always.
time.
At any
If
time.
you break the law, you have to face the music. There is a
Yes. You will be
punishment
punished.
waiting for you.
You have to
Yeah.
be punished, yes.
Right? Good. Thank you, Mr. Amjad.
Yes.
Good point.
The C, the importance of crossing the road safely is drummed into children when they are very young.
It means that it is taught.
Yes, by repetition.
By repetition.
Yes, because
it is
the drum
taught.
usually has a loud and repetitive noise. So repetition here is the main
Drummed
idea.
into children.
Yes.
You mean we put this in their head?
Learn them by, yes.
Yes, yes.
By repeating these words, this information in your head.
Exactly. And the last one?
Omar said he was going to buy a Porsche. Porsche is a very expensive car. I wish I had.
Oh, me too.
But he
But he
changed it.
changed his tune when he discovered the price. Here, the music,
Changed his tune?
Yes,
Means-
means changed his opinion, his mind. Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, now we can maybe have an exercise at page
73.
73, maybe.
Yes, about the
the
causative.
causative, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
it's the same. That's it. Exercise 3, page 72 or 73? 73, sorry.
73, exercise
Yes.
3.
73, yes.
The laptop is not responding. I don't know why. Maybe
Yes.
it's okay. 73. Is it 73 or
Yeah,
73?
73.
That's it. Yes, yes.
73.
Now, here we are. Exercise 3, dear students. Page 73. Thank you. Write follow-up statements using causative verbs.
Yes.
Here, we know the rule. And the first one is done
Yes.
for the students. I didn't repair the car myself. It means that someone else did the action.
The action.
Yes.
I had it repaired.
Yeah.
That's it. Number 2.
My
B.
yes, my mother dyed her own dress blue, so she didn't have it dyed. She did that by herself. She is the doer of the action. She dyed it blue.
Okay.
Yeah, see, she didn't make the dress herself. She had it made. It be that she is not the doer of the action.
She calls it someone.
She
else.
had
she
it made.
asked someone
Yes,
else to do
yes,
it.
yes.
He isn't going to take his own photo.
But here the student, Ms. Sousan,
Yes.
should notice that the tense here
Is
is
going
future.
to.
Be going to.
Yeah.
We still have to use is going to in the causative sentence, but we should take out the negative because if the statement is negative, we should write
Use
the
the
causative
affirmative.
in the affirmative. So he is going to have it taken.
Good.
My brother cut his own hair. Here we have past simple affirmative. So he didn't have it cut.
Now here, maybe some students get confused
Confused
because the verb cut is irregular.
The
Irregular.
same in
And
first
it
and
has
the
the
same
second
same
and
conjugation.
third.
cut,
Yes,
cut.
the same
So how
conjugation.
can we know that this sentence is written in the past simple, not in the present?
I
I
always-
think the answer is very clear.
Third person singular.
If
Yes.
it is in the present simple,
It should be present
should
continuous.
add an
it
S.
should be cuts.
Cuts,
Cuts.
yes.
Cut.
Yeah.
Because yes, it's
There's
singular.
no
My
S
brother.
here.
I always ask them about this.
Yes, my brother cut, it means that it is in the past.
The past, yeah.
Yes. My neighbor painted his own house, so he didn't have it painted. He asked someone to paint it for him.
Yes.
My father doesn't clean his car himself. He has it cleaned. Here, present simple, negative. So use has here. Why?
Good.
Because the subject is he.
Good. Thank you very much. I think
The last one?
maybe the last one.
Yeah.
We have, yes.
Yes, we didn't cut down the trees in our garden ourselves. We had them cut down.
Thank you. We have them cut down.
Yes, we had, because it's
That's it.
simple
We didn't
past.
cut down the trees. I
Yes.
think we mentioned this same
Yes.
sentence
Yes,
While
but
we were
without the
explaining,
in the
yeah.
preposition.
PowerPoint. Yes.
Without the
Thank you.
preposition down.
We have another call before we go on. Lubana from Konaitra. Good afternoon, Lubana.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Fine.
Your question, Lubana?
Yeah, I have two questions.
The first one?
I want you to explain to me about passive voice in the present perfect tenses.
Okay.
With an example, please.
Mhm.
And my second question, do we have to change from passive into active, or only from active into passive? Which one will require to be in the final exam?
You're talking about the final exam. Let
Yeah.
me, okay, Lubana, let me first answer you, let me answer the second question. Then we can ask Mr. Amjad to write a sentence in the present perfect and explain, in the present perfect, or
Yes,
Ms. Housan,
present perfect.
explain it to you. But now, for the time being, I can say for you, and
Yeah.
I can inform you that in the final exam, they don't ask you to, let's say, make active. I mean, they don't give you a sentence in the passive and ask you to make it active. No. They give you a sentence in the active voice and they ask you to make it passive. Okay? So
Okay.
that's it. Is it clear?
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
my answer is clear. Now,
Yeah.
now we can talk about the passive.
Yes.
Ms. Samson, would you please give Mr. Amjad any sentence in the
Yes.
present perfect, in the active,
Okay,
of course?
he wrote a sentence. He wrote, Sami has finished his homework. So
Okay,
if we
Sami,
have
yes.
to change it into passive, we should start with the object of the sentence first. Yes.
Here,
Okay.
instead of his, we use Sammy's.
Yeah. The second stage, we should write, we have has, so we write, has finished his homework. His homework should, has been plus verb 3, has been finished by him, or without using by him. Yes. So we should write the object, then has or have, according to the subject, if it is singular or plural. We should use been as it is, we write it, been, and we use the verb 3, the same in the first, in the statement we have.
We use the object
Yes,
as a
the
subject.
same.
Okay?
Yes.
This is the first. His homework or Sammy's homework, right?
Yes.
Sammy's homework. This is the object.
Yes.
We use the object as
At
a
the first of
subject.
the
This is step
sentence,
number
yes.
one. Then
Then we use
because
has.
the verb, the active verb, is in the present perfect, we
are-
should use be in the present perfect.
Yes, either has or have,
Have
according
been
to
or
the
has been.
subject. Yes.
Have been
So
or
the
has
subject
been.
is singular, so we should use has.
Has been. So
Yes.
we use be in the present perfect, has been.
Has been?
Then we use verb 3 of the active verb,
Yes.
which is finished, I think.
Yes.
Right? So
And-
Sammy's homework has been finished.
Yes. At the end of the sentence, we write by plus
Because
the subject
we
of
mentioned
the
Sammy's.
active
There is no
sentence.
need.
No need.
Because
Yes.
we mentioned Sammy at the beginning.
Sammy's homework.
There is no need. Or
Yes,
we
that's
say
right, sir.
the homework has
Has
been
been
finished by Sammy.
Sammy.
Yes.
But if we name, we mention the name, you see,
Yes.
somebody, if we name someone, if we say Sammy's homework, it's okay, there is no need to say
To
by
repeat
Sammy.
that again at the end of
Sammy's
the
homework
sentence,
has been
yes.
finished.
Yeah.
It means that he did the action.
Yeah.
Yes,
He
of
has done the
course.
action.
Done, yeah. There is
Okay,
no need,
himself.
yeah.
So Sammy's homework has been finished. Or the homework has been finished
By Sammy.
by
By
Sammy.
Sammy.
But it's
Yes.
better to say Sammy's homework, I think.
This is more formal.
Not the homework.
Yeah.
It's okay, the homework. has been finished by
Finished.
Sami.
Sami.
So it's okay. That's it. Now, we have something, in fact, in the student's book, which is, thank you, Lubana. Lubana is not here. It's
Shukran.
okay. Thank you very much for your call. I think we have an exercise at page 77 in the student's book, dear colleagues. Yes. I feel in the review, maybe in the revision.
Yeah.
Yes.
Review
That's
3.
it. Here we have exercise 5 and exercise 6. Maybe we can do exercise 5 in a hurry, please, in less than 1 minute. Choose the correct words in these statements. A, my mother's sister is my
Aunt.
Of course.
Yes.
B, my mother and
father.
of course have been married for 22 years. C, when I was 12,
I made
The decision.
I
Yes.
made the decision
Decision.
because we say make a decision, not do a decision.
Yes. Every week I do the shopping
Yeah.
for my mother.
for my mother.
Yes.
Yes, I just heard the door bang. It sounded as if someone left in a hurry.
Yes, you can strum a guitar or you can pluck the strings individually.
Well, yes.
Thank you very much. Before we go on, we have a call. Fatima, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you, Fatima?
I'm fine, thanks.
You are calling us from?
I'm from Hama.
From Hama. Okay.
I
Your
have a
question,
question.
please. Yes, your question.
Can we use modal verb over than will in conditional sentences type 1?
Aha.
Yeah.
A good question. Mr. Amjad, please.
Yes, it's a very important question. We say that we use will in the conditional sentences type 1, and we can replace will with other modals like can, could, should, have to, must. But here the meaning would be different. The meaning, will refers to certainty or near certainty. But if we feel in the conditional sentences, in the result clause, if we don't feel enough to use will, we can use other modals, but the meaning would be different. For example, if I say, if it's fine tomorrow, we will go out. We can here replace can with, we can replace here will with can, but the meaning would be different. Here, when we use can, we mean we are free to go out. Or, for instance, if, for example, if it's fine tomorrow, we may go out. It's possible here. The meaning refers to possibility. Or, if we replace will with, for example, must. When I say if it's fine tomorrow, we must go out. Here refers to necessity. It's something necessary to go out. Is it clear?
Okay, Fatima? Fatima? Okay, thank you. Thanks for your call. Now, dear colleagues, dear students, because we don't have enough time, in fact, to cover all the exercises, I think it's a good idea to go directly to the activity book, because we have a very important text at page, maybe at the first page, page 52, am I right? Unit 9. It's about traditional crafts in Aleppo, right?
Yes.
And from this place, we all agreed the Syrian army for, let's say, liberating Aleppo or some areas in Aleppo from terrorism. So we greet them all, and we greet the souls of our martyrs also. Let's go back to this text. Aleppo, as we know, is a very, let's say, big city in Syria. It is, we can say, the second city in Syria when we talk about the area and the economic or importance in Syria.
Yeah.
So, as we know, the title, dear colleague Amjad, traditional crafts in Aleppo. When we say craft, what does it mean, please?
Craft, it's an activity that involves a special skill.
It means it needs
a special, let's say, a special skill.
A number of skills, especially with the hands.
Yeah, particularly when Yes, we deal with with them with hands.
So
Yeah, here, you know, Syria has been an let's say a center for training for thousands of years, and we know that Syria has experienced a period of modernization, and there is a kind of involvement and interaction with many different civilizations, and some of these traditional crafts are being threatened nowadays. Why? Because of globalization and because of the cheaper mass-produced goods which are imported from abroad. So there are some certain organizations nowadays are trying to support the preservation of these traditional crafts.
good. So let's talk about the reason why we have a variety of crafts in Syria. Why is there a variety of crafts in Syria in general? Because of Syria's
long history and because of its important location at the crossroad of many trading routes.
Yes.
This is one question. Now, another question. We know that, let's say, in the city of Aleppo, there is a market.
Yeah.
As it is mentioned in the text, Ms. Sousan.
Yes.
Dedicated to protecting handmade copper goods, right?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's threatened by globalization.
Why is there a market in Aleppo dedicated to protect handmade copper goods?
To ensure that this profession or this guy
does not vanish.
We lost.
This
order
ancient
not to
craft does
make
not
it
vanish.
Yes.
To vanish is
order not to
disappear.
disappear.
Yes.
Exactly. So vanish, the verb vanish here,
To disappear.
it means to disappear. So in order not to disappear,
Yes.
we are talking about traditional crafts.
Traditional crafts.
There is a market in Aleppo dedicating to protect the handmade copper goods.
Yeah.
Yes.
Copper artifacts are discovered or have been discovered here.
In the
maybe
area.
Fatima maybe asked about the present perfect in the passive. Maybe a student called us and asked us about the passive in the present perfect. When we say copper artifacts have been discovered in our region,
Yes.
so it means that this sentence tells us what has happened to the subject, not what the subject has done.
Yes.
You see, have been discovered in our region or all over the region. Now, of course, some of these artifacts date back to the Bronze Age.
About 3,000 years.
When historians found these artifacts, they have identified a number of uses.
A set of uses, yes. Like
of the material.
Yeah.
Which material? Copper material.
Yeah, copper.
Like what?
Weaponry, like jewelry and ornaments.
Good. So they discovered that copper in the past, in our region, was used to make weapons, to make jewelry, and to make
ornaments.
Good. Why are copper in general used by historians?
Because it tells how people used to live in the past.
So, because these items exactly give us information
about the way
how people
lived and interacted in the past.
Exactly. Now, the Aleppo Craftsmen Union, as it is mentioned in the text, is trying to revive this world famous industry. Revive to refresh. To make
to renew.
To renew, exactly. So how?
By establishing a training center first and by promoting the local and regional trade of these handmade products.
Good. Now, when we make copper products, Mr. Amjad, Ms. Sousan, of course the material, copper material, should, let's say, pass through into some processes.
Like
what are the processes needed or required for the production of copper goods?
Cutting first, then welding, and third, ornamentation.
Good. Thank you very much. So that's it. Nowadays, we know that there is, as it is mentioned in the text again, a small handful of artisans, small number of artisans continue to practice this craft. So we should encourage all people to practice these traditional crafts in order not to vanish. That's it. To protect our traditions, we should continue.
Continue.
We should protect such crafts,
Yes.
which needs skills with the hands.
Yeah.
Artisan means a worker.
Worker who are
but,
skilled. Yes.
But he has a number, he should have skills with hands.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, his craft needs skills with the hands.
With hands. Yeah.
Right? When we talk about a craft, handmade craft, we call the worker working in such a field an artisan.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you very much. Before we leave, I'm sorry, we don't have enough time to continue because we tried to focus on the most important points in this seminar. I need a piece of advice from you, Ms. Sausan, in less than a minute, please.
Yes,
And
now
Mr. Amjad.
for the students, because the English language is not their native language, so they should study it daily. They should allocate 1 hour daily to study, and before the exam they should review, not study. Reviewing is for the
You
exam.
mean they should deal with the language every day?
Daily, yes.
Because it is a foreign language.
It is a foreign language.
It's
not
not
our
their
native
mother tongue.
one. Yes, so they should stay in touch with the language.
Exactly.
They should
Good,
study it
good,
daily.
good advice. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Amjad, please.
First of all, I wish you good luck, my dear students. Secondly, my advice for you is to sit language to practice. Learning language is like learning any musical instrument. If you leave it for a
Exactly.
while, then
You
you
will forget
will
it.
forget it forever. Please stick to your language.
Thank you,
Because it's
Mr.
a skill.
Amjad.
Thank you.
Well, dear students in the baccalaureate, dear colleagues in the field, English teachers, English supervisors, at the end of this seminar, let me thank my colleagues, Ms. Sausan
Yes,
Hamdan, an
thank you.
English teacher from Kunaitra.
Government.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And
Yes.
participating in this seminar. Mr. Amjad Tajur, an English supervisor from Hama
Thank you.
Directorate. Thanks for coming and
Thank you.
participating in this seminar.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for you all. Thanks for everyone who has called us. From me, Mr. Basil Sadiq, a senior supervisor in the Ministry of Education, I say goodbye. Thanks for everything. Till we meet in other seminars, we wish you all the best. Thank you.